Hey guys, as you can see, we're not at the campground anymore.
Our trip got cut short.
We survived a tornado.
Woo!
Basically.
Yeah.
Like, it might as well have been.
Without the funnel. That's the only
So,
thing.
going to bed, everything was, like, perfect. Like, we were talking in our tent.
No, it wasn't, because I'm still wet.
No, this hadn't happened yet. Okay, and then it started raining. Like, sprinkling first, and then it started raining. And Caitlin's tent, you know, like, tents, the doorway part, and where it zips up, near the bottom, where the zipper was, it was, like, leaking in water. So, and somehow, instead of just, you know, like, soaking through the sleeping bags we had on, like, laid on the bottom, and coming towards us, it just went under the sleeping bag, and then puddled under Katlyn. And so, she was soaked already, and so we squished to the one side that wasn't leaking, and
it happened to travel in the middle of the night over to me.
And then
again.
To me, it eventually reached me, but by that time, Katlyn was waking me up because one of the stakes had ripped out of the ground from our tent, and it was flying around. And we laid there for a little, and our tent was, like, blowing on us. Like, this was hard, and the rain was coming down, and suddenly, like, we start hearing all the other girls waking up, and they start screaming for us, because we are some of the older ones. Why weren't they calling for Charlotte?
I don't know.
They were like, Abby! Katlyn!
We were, like, the farthest away from everybody, and Charlotte, she's older than I am, and I'm 16.
Yeah.
And she was, like, right next to them, and she... Whatever.
They were calling for us.
Yeah.
And, because their tent, like...
Everybody's tent was
on
the
top
ground.
of them.
Yeah.
Like, they couldn't pick it up. The wind was just pressing them into their tents. Ours hadn't fallen yet. I think it was because we were by that tree. But,
No, because my foot was holding it up in the middle of the night. I, like, had it up, holding the tent.
So, we stand up, and by, like, the fear has sunken in that our tents are falling down, and we're gonna have to get out of our tent and start collecting everybody because they're getting squished by their tents.
Or, like, there's a tornado.
Caitlin thought there was a legit tornado going on, and...
I did. Like, the winds were so hard, it could have been a tornado. I was, like, flipping out.
So she's like, Abby, we gotta go get the others. And so she stood up and started walking out. I'm like, no, Katlyn, we gotta put our shoes on. And my hands were shaking, and I'm trying to open the plastic bag we had put our wet shoes in. She's like, no, Abby, we gotta go. And I'm like, no, put your shoes on. And so we put our Uggs on. Well, I put Katie's Uggs on. We put our Uggs on, and, hold on. Okay, I'll just cook it for now. And we're doing great up until now.
Thanks, River!
Okay, anyway, where was I?
About Uggs.
Oh, yeah. We put on our Uggs, and we ran out there and started lifting the tent, because they were, like, screaming for help. Some of the other girls had already gotten into one of the vehicles that we had out there, and we were helping everybody else get out, checking all the tents, making sure there was no one left in there before we got in there ourselves. And then Ellen, one of our leaders, told us that we needed to get some of our stuff out of the tents, so now everybody's running back and forth. Like, people are freaking out about their pillows and blankets, and I'm telling Kayla, like, just grab what's important, and if we have time, we'll get the blankets.
So the first thing we grabbed was our, like, phone and our
bags.
stuffed animal. That's the first thing we grabbed.
Well, no. When we went out, I had my bag with my phone in it and my stuffed animal in my hand.
See, I didn't.
I just took everything.
I just took the
flashlight. But then we went back and got our soaked pillows and blankets and put them in. And I had prepared a scavenger hunt for the girls. And so all the papers were wet, but they were in the bag. And we left our tennis shoes in there. And we left a bag of Chex Mix in there. That was all we left in our tent. And other people went... Oh, and the sleeping bags.
In our bag of shoes.
I'm pretty sure I already said that, but...
Oh, okay.
And then 2 other people who help our troop went and, like, literally took everything out of each tent after we had gotten most of our stuff out. And then we went up to this, this building up near the front of the campground, because it was, like, an official campground, but we weren't using campers. We should have been.
Yeah.
This was a time for Caitlin's camping to shine. Anyway, we get up there, and we all go into the building. Our blankets are soaked. I was trying to use mine, but we ended up using our friend Diana's blanket, and we all slept. We didn't sleep, actually. Katlyn and I were up all night. Everybody else was asleep, and we're, like, just staring at each other.
Yeah, wondering how everybody else is asleep on concrete floor, and
it was freezing
15
in
degrees
there.
In the room.
It was freezing, and in the middle of the night, Ellen came and covered us with another blanket, and then that's when we finally got a little bit of sleep.
And then, like,
we woke
an hour later, she woke us up.
We woke up around 6, and then we all went into the vehicles to warm up with the heaters and stuff before we went down and started picking up the tents. Caitlin's tent, one of the poles snapped.
Yeah, so I need a tent.
We have it sitting on my porch right now. We didn't even, like, my grandma came and picked us up. We just put the tent rolled up, still poles in it, still everything. We have no idea what the stakes are. Ellen and the other troop leaders decided to just stack the tents on top of each other and put a cooler on top so they didn't blow away. Some people's stuff were in the field next to us.
Yeah, like, the winds were so strong, like, the tent, like, rolled over into the field that was next to us.
One tent picked them up while they were in it, and it was, like, going.
Yeah. Well, they were both light. They were both pretty.
Yeah, they were little.
Yeah, they were.
But
it was Charlotte and Savannah, and they were both pretty small. And Abby was like, oh, well, the first time, like, I woke Abby up, I was like, Abby, and I started shaking her and everything, and I was like, the tent, and so she woke up, and then she seen it, and she was like, oh, our weight will hold it down. She went back to bed.
Our weight did hold it down when we were in it.
Yeah, and then, I woke her back up, I'm like, Abby, and it just, yeah. Like, the tent was on top of us. It was like a blanket on top of us.
She was swearing like a sailor, freaking out. It was awful.
Well, I thought we were, like, having a tornado because the winds were, like, so strong.
They were awful.
It was bad. And it was, like, 100 miles.
Trying to get our stuff out of there, Katlyn was in the tent, and I was just holding it up. Like, it was caving in.
Like, we couldn't get it out of the tent because it was, like, collapsed.
And then afterward, everyone's shaking. We're all, like, scared. It was cold. We were shaking from that.
It was raining, too. It was, like, pouring rain while the wind was going, and
our troop leaders were all in their cars, and they said that they heard us knocking on the vehicles, and they were like, "Oh, that can't be good."
Yeah, we were all like, after they were screaming at us, we were all screaming at Ellen.
Yeah.
She's what, like,
well, actually, first, like, Katlyn opened the tent before she was trying to get out without her shoes on.
Well,
and
because
she was like,
you don't want
to, like, she turned on her flashlight, she turned around, she's like, everybody else is calling for Ellen, and she started calling for Ellen too, and she's not answering, she's asleep in her car, probably snoring.
Yeah, she's snoring.
So then the girls start calling for us, and Caitlin's like, yep, we gotta go. Oh, it was scary. Yeah. Just talking about it, I'm shaking again.
I am too. It was...
Like, it probably wasn't that bad, and in a couple of days we'll just laugh about it. We actually were laughing about it.
We were.
When the tent was falling on us, the second time that Katlyn woke me up, I'm like, okay, well, we'll just find the pole through the tent and try to stick it back in the ground.
Seriously?
And so she was trying to grab it, because we didn't want to, like, get out, you know, because it was raining. And
there was, like, puddles everywhere.
Yeah. So she's trying to grab it, and she's, like, leaning over me, and we just start laughing. We just start laughing so hard because of the position she was in.
And she was like, what side is the pull out of it? I'm like, I don't know. And she was like, I found it. It's over here. It's like we found treasure. And so she was like, here, grab it from the outside, or grab it from the inside and push it.
And then after we were in the building, we were laying next to Diana because we were sharing her huge blanket. And we were just talking because, you know, there's nothing else to do. We couldn't sleep, so we were just talking to each other. And we're all laughing because we were laughing about it. And everybody else is, like, screaming. She was in one of the tents that started blowing away, too. Or, like, it started rolling on top of them or something.
Yeah, we, like, all night last night, me and Abby were just, everybody else was passed out. Me and Abby were just talking and laughing and making all these stupid jokes. And she was, one of the jokes was she, like, I don't know, I said something about crapping my pants at first. I don't remember how we got on topic or
how did we get there?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't remember. We were talking about something. I don't know. But I can make...
Oh,
I
no, keeping yourself warm. We were freezing.
Yes.
And I'm like, well, you could just fart and you'll be warmer. And then I'm like, Katlyn, how did you manage to survive a storm that no other Girl Scout did? And then I was like,
crap my pants!
No one else will find this funny. It's
No.
probably because we were so tired and delusional and...
Yeah, like, last night when the rain started, okay, so we went to bed because there was just, like, a little puddle, and I was like, Abby, the sleeping bag is wet, like, right where my butt was, and you thought I peed my pants.
Like,
and I'm like, no, I did not pee my pants.
Because usually when water runs, you know, you'd think that it would soak up, like, the beginning and just chill down. No, it, like, went under, did not soak up, and, like, kind of, like, just puddled underneath her. It
went under our bodies. Somehow under our bodies. And
but, like, I was dry for the majority of the night until around 2 in the morning when the wind started getting really heavy and our tent started lifting up and collapsing, and then, like, by then the water had reached me. The only dry thing was my stuffed turtle.
The only dry thing was my blanket that is now in the washer because it stunk really, really bad. It, like, stinks really bad.
We decided to be little kids and wear funny pajamas and stuff and pack stuffed animals, and this is the only thing that was absolutely dry besides my phone.
Yeah, no, my phone was, oh my gosh. I have to get a new phone case. I want to see if it's dry. I have to have it.
Her phone case got soaked. At first she was like, I hope you have my phone, Abby, because I have no idea where it is.
Yeah, like, this is our, like...
Is it still wet?
No, it's not.
We got Chex Mix, before we went.
For snacks.
And good thing you tied it in there. It would have been everywhere.
Yeah, and like the animals would have probably eaten our tent.
She was like, I'm just gonna tie it, and I'm like, why?
Like, I don't know, I didn't want any bugs getting in it, so I guess it was a smart idea to tie it, because...
Yeah, because otherwise it would have been everywhere. And then we had to, after we left, my grandma took this bag,
yeah.
We ate like half of this bag. But after that happened, my grandma picked us up. Yeah, we got duos too.
Yeah, because we were like making the list. We were on, we weren't
with cooling crystals.
We were on Google Hangouts and like the calling thing on there, and so we were like making up the whole list. She was like, "Okay, you need to find Girl Scout camping list because you know they have it on like the website and stuff." Yeah. And so we just went like through everything. That stuff was not useful. We made our own list and it was much more useful.
See, we didn't have to do actual Girl Scout anything because we were supposed to eat dinner before we went there, you know. So all we did was collect firewood for the fire in the morning. We made a fire that night. And then she was like, the rest of the time is yours. And we just went in our tent. I fixed the scavenger hunt a little bit because some of the girls hadn't arrived. And that's when everything started. So technically they owe Katlyn her money back.
Yeah, and like, my phone case is still...
Wet? Is it still wet?
Wet, and my money and everything is in here.
Is your money wet?
Yeah, it's like all completely soaked still. And the only thing I was really worried about...
Yeah, your money, it could tear if you pick it up.
Yeah, I know. Like, I brought everything. Oh, I hope I brought the flashlight because I don't see it.
Yeah. You did, I put it in there.
Yeah, where did you put it in here?
I just plopped it in there.
Yeah. So, I asked my dad when we were making the camping list because I needed a flashlight. And I asked my dad, I was like, do you have a flashlight that you don't like? And he was like, what, does that mean I'm not going to get it back? We just started, like, laughing about it and everything. This was, like, the number one thing that I needed to bring home.
Could you not find it? Are you serious?
No, I cannot find it.
Katlyn, I put it in there.
My dad was like, make sure you bring this, like, flashlight back, because it's, like, my favorite
It wasn't in your clothes, right? Like, you didn't accidentally grab it and throw it in the washer? Okay.
It was under my... I was getting, like, super scared. My dad was like, that better be the first thing that goes in your bag. I was like, okay, it will be. And I was, like, super scared when we couldn't find it now. But, yeah.
So, yeah. That's our story about how we survived a tornado with Girl Scouts.
Yeah.
It might, like, my mom and her boyfriend were camping too, and they said that they survived the night, but I don't know how. Like, our tents were flying and collapsing on us. Like, I mean, but then again, they were, like, next to like, closer to buildings than we were.
Yeah, there's, like, okay, so the campground, there's, like, a big pond, really? And
that, the package used to say not to share, which means when you're trying to share with someone, you use that one.
Ah! Anyways, so there was, like, a big pond at the campground, and so the Girl Scout, like, the tent camping area is, like, completely separate with the campers. Mm-hmm. And so we were, like, right on front, like,
right next to the pond.
We were lakefront. Yeah,
we were right next to the pond.
Yeah, we were pond front. And
it's called Lakeview Campgrounds, but it doesn't have a lake, it's a pond.
Yeah.
Before that, we were like, you know, making videos and stuff. I think we actually mentioned in one of the tiny videos that we were going to go use the bathroom at 9:30. Okay. What, Zach?
You want one?
Want what?
These.
These what?
I'll just edit this. I got this.
Oh my god, yes, they're garlic nuts.
Give me one. Give me one. I think we're eating one of these. We'll probably have to eat one of these again afterward because they're mint.
This is the last two.
Thanks, Zach. Okay.
Abby.
What?
Oh.
I'm just gonna
Yeah,
start.
split that one.
We can split this one.
Awesome. Okay.
Okay, there we go.
My brother just gave us garlic knots.
Yeah.
So we'll eat these after we eat our mints, and then we'll have to eat another mint because
It's garlic. Like, who doesn't eat a mint or go after garlic? Comment down below if you guys do. 'Cause if not, that's nasty. No, just kidding. We love you all. But,
yeah.
yeah, we did mention.
Oh, I was getting ready to tell the story about the bathroom.
Mm-hmm.
So before all the storm stuff happened, we were like, because there was a porta potty down there, but it was like super old and super gross looking, and everybody was scared that it was gonna fall while they were in it. Real quick before I carry on, while it was storming, we're sitting in Ellen's van, and one of the girls goes, "I really need to use the bathroom." And I'm like, "Now would be the time when it falls on you."
Or, you better hold it, girl.
Mm-hmm. Anyway, back to the main story now. We were going to go at 9:30, but 9:20 came and it was getting really dark, so we're like, okay, let's go to the bathroom. We're walking up there, because it's a little walk away from where we were set up camp, and, like, we see this guy. We were singing Kumbaya, and then we see this guy, and we, like, instantly stop. He's like, what is it called? Like, stumbling, I guess?
Yeah,
He was drunk.
He was
And
drunk
you could
stumbling.
see it, like, in his walk, and I was like, oh my god, there's a drunk guy. Like, we were both freaking out. You could see a beer in his hand. I mean, he probably just lived around the area, like, maybe going to another friend's camper, or
Yeah.
leaving a friend's camper, or going to the bathroom himself. But, so we run into the girls' side of the bathroom,
Like, slam the door.
and then we, get in the same stall, and we both use the bathroom. And Caitlin has Ellen's contact ready to call her if anything happens, because we were scared. We get paranoid
It was like
about
Friday
this
the
type of thing.
13th, too.
It was.
Like, at first we just saw a dark figure, and we got, like, a little bit closer, as close as we, you know, like, could without getting hurt, I guess, or with, I don't know how to explain it. Anyways, and so we just seen a dark figure, and we were like, oh, crap, it's Friday the 13th, and what's going on here? We're,
Yeah.
like, scared for our lives.
So, after that, we went, like, we were sitting in the bathroom, and, like, we had just finished, and we were still in the stall.
Yeah, and I'm texting my, like, ex-boyfriend of what to do, because we're, like, great friends still, and stuff,
And we hear the door open, and, like, our hearts stopped. And then we hear voices that say, oh, I think I hear people. And then, like, instantly we're relieved, because we recognize those voices. It was two more
Yeah.
girls from our troop, and they were going to use the bathroom, and so we waited until they were done. We were talking to this girl named Kendall, because she saw the guy, too, and we're like, oh my gosh. And so after that, we walked back. We did not see him outside. We had our flashlights on our phones, and we are walking back, and all of a sudden, Chloe, the other girl, screams out of nowhere, and we just
Yeah.
take off running. We're like, oh my gosh, what? And she said that she thought she saw somebody walking in the field and collecting sticks, but it was probably just, Paul.
her imagination. No, it was, like, pretty dark. And, like, Paul already collected sticks and stuff. And
Still, like, it scared the crap out of us.
yeah, because we were, like, all walking back, already scared because of the guy. We had no idea where he went. We couldn't see him. And so everything else.
Mm-hmm.
We were just super scared. And so I, like, text my ex and whatever. And, you know, I was, like, telling him all about, like, this guy. And he said, okay, one of you peek out. And if you see him, run back in. And by that time, we were already back at camp. And cause I finished the text when we got back to camp.
Yeah.
But
So, yeah, I probably actually won't include the vlog part, because this is really long. So I'll probably just put this on here. So, yeah.
Yeah. So we came. It started at I don't know,
7.
12. No.
Oh, the storm?
Yeah, because,
Started
like,
around-
okay, it wasn't, like, exactly a
The
storm.
rain
it was just
started-
rain.
The rain started around, like, 11,
Yeah.
11:30, and then the wind picked up. Well, I woke up around, like, 2:30.
Oh, I was up all night, because, like,
Because the water.
like, it...
She was soaked all night. It was funny.
It was not
Okay,
funny.
well, that's our story.
Of how we survived a tornado, I guess.
It was
I guess you
basically a
could call
tornado.
it.
We
Yeah.
couldn't drive home. Like, they weren't going to let our parents come pick us up in the middle of the night. It was like we had to stick it out in that building.
Yeah, because the winds were way too strong, and it was...
The building was even, like, creaking because of the wind.
Yeah.
And I was like, watch, now the building's gonna fall in on us.
Yeah, we were, like, in a... like, a metal building?
I don't know.
I guess you call
it
it.
was wooden. It had, like, these weird flaps that you could unhook, and I guess it would make, like, little tables maybe for, like, concession stand type things. Yeah.
And so it was pretty strong that it was, like, making the building move.
We were scared.
Yeah, we really were.
I
And
had to give a
it's
pair
like-
of my extra socks to this girl that I'm probably never going to get them back from.
No.
So,
We had to, like, share each other's clothes with each other. Like,
Yeah.
I wore Abby's footy pajamas because...
her clothes were completely wet. My butt was wet,
Yeah.
and my backside was wet from the water that we were sleeping on, but Caitlin was completely soaked. So.
Yeah, like, I woke up in the middle of the night, and there was, like, water everywhere. And I thought it was, like, coming in from the tent, and so I fell over on Abby, and she was completely soaked, and I'm like, yes, I'm not, like, the only one. And then, like, the storm happened.
We were,
and,
like, hugging
oh.
each other. It was cold and awful.
Yeah, like, the first time she woke up, and she was like, oh, wait, we'll hold it down. I, like, held on to her while she was in the middle of the night. It, like, because
And we
the
were,
winds
like, curled
picked up.
over, and I could feel it blowing over us. And,
Yeah.
like, it was awful. I think if we would have gotten out at that point right then, it would have blown over with all of our stuff in it.
Yeah, it was... The only part that didn't blow over was, like,
Where we were.
this side.
Like, it was where we were wasn't flapping in the wind. Like, everything else was. Everything else had come undone.
Yeah, and I, like, looked out the window of our tent, and, like, everybody else's tent was completely down on top of them, so I'm like,
Yeah.
we're not the only one, because I thought we were, like, the only one. 'Cause I was just, we were just gonna, like, stick it out, whatever, and be like, we can just hold it up.
we didn't.
Yeah, seriously. And, yeah, that's our story on how we survived a Girl Scout tornado.
Yeah. So, I will see you guys next time. Yeah, go check
We'll
out her
probably-
channel.
Yeah, she'll have it in the link below, or
Mhm.
description box, whatever.
Maybe I'll learn to put it around your face.
Yeah, this beautiful face right here. I'm doing it completely wrong. Like, no, I'm not. Yes, I am. I don't know. But
I don't even know
Yeah.
how to do that yet, but
if you, like, guys know a website or find, like, a video or something, link it in the comments, please, because we need to learn how to, like, do that, because we do a lot of collabs, because we just over at each other's houses a lot, or I'm over at her house a lot.
yeah.
Like, a
It's
lot.
not really a collab if we don't make a video on your channel. We don't have time to either.
No.
So.
But I guess we call it collab, because we're both here, and we're both different YouTubers.
Okay, well, bye guys. I
Bye.
just hit myself with my nail. What is going on? Okay.
I need to redo
Bye.
my nails, too. Bye!